So you come back to your nDTC and you realize, oh crap, there are some settings that are completely wrong with this nDTC. What can I do to fix it? Well, we actually have, through the hamburger menu, the ability to expose you to actually go through and further configure this device's settings. And so to do that, you are required to be logged in as an administrator. So by that, you can come through here and again enter in the initial administrator pin that was configured as we were going about to getting started with this device. From that point, you can actually go through and go under settings, and through the settings tab or dashboard from the hamburger menu, you have the ability to make multiple device level configurations, anywhere between modifying the device's screen behavior to modifying the date and time and location of the device. You can change the administrator pin directly on screen, and you have the ability to reset the device back to factory mode. Through this screen as well, you have the ability to reboot the device. Let's say, for example, you are navigating across screens, and as you're navigating across screens, you're noticing that there are some schedules that are missing from the schedule summary page, but you're confident that it's been created. One way in which you can really confirm that it's just a navigation challenge is potentially rebooting this device as well and ensuring that it is truly pulling the latest information that it has in its database. So from here, I can go through and adjust the screen setup. So I can modify the theme, for example, from dark more so to light. So I can choose light, for example, and with light, everything enters much more so of a light mode or a light stage. I can also go through and switch it back to dark and potentially modify the screen brightness to go to 90%. And you may not immediately be able to see it, but actually my screen brightness has dimmed down to more so of a 90%. I like it better at 100%, especially for what it is that we're doing back here. You can modify the screen dim as well as to when it should be that the screen should dim to 2 minutes or to a specific time to its lower light level after the device is not being unoccupied. So as a default, it is 2 minutes. You have an option to go from 2 minutes as far up as 30 minutes. In this case, let's actually set it up to be 5 minutes. And so after 5 minutes of the device not being operated, it is actually going to dim the brightness of the screen. In addition to that, you also have the ability to go through and adjust the screen off time as well. So that screen off is after it comes in that the screen has dimmed down due to inoperability. After 5 minutes of that time, the screen actually goes up. So you can also go through and adjust that accordingly between anywhere from 5 minutes all the way up to 60 minutes as well. I'm going to keep this to be at 5 minutes as well. Along that same line, the nDTC is equipped with a proximity sensor as well. And so this proximity wake up toggle button makes it such that if it's enabled, whenever the nDTC detects proximity or detects someone within close proximity to the device, it is going to cause the screen to exit the off mode or even exit the screen dim mode into a full screen bright mode as well. I prefer to keep that disabled just for my own preference's sake. Now along the same line as well, we had gone through to configure the date, time, and location for this device during the initial configuration as we were getting started with the device. You also have the ability to go through and make those further modifications as well back here. So in my case, I want to go and let's say zoom towards the future, right? The future, I want to zoom towards the past. Let's try that one. We'll go back to March and we'll say, hey, let's go to March 15th. And let's see what happens on March 15th. March 15th is what? Spring break, right? Yeah, spring break. Let's go back to spring break. And let's actually go to March 16th, just to play around with it, right? We'll keep the time to be the same. And so what you'll note as you go back, and you also have the opportunity to go through and reset the factory mode, as much as you have the ability to go through and change the administrator pin, and you have the ability to turn off the device accordingly. So in this case, we've now adjusted our date If you were to look at it, it says, hey, it is going to be executing on March 16th. March 16th, these are the current scheduled events that are going to be taking place on March 16th. And so by that, we've leveraged the device's settings to modify the day in which this device is going to be taking place. Along that same line as well, I want to reboot this device as well. So I can come back here and select to reboot, and as I want to reboot it, I get a notification as well of what will happen if one goes about to rebooting this device. So the lights may flicker as part of this rebooting process, and all settings and profiles for this event are actually going to maintain the same state as they are as well. So we'll go through and actually reboot this device, and we are going to confirm that we want this device to be rebooted accordingly. And by that, you get it in such a way that the device is now doing a network discovery to discover all of the nLight devices that are connected to this nDTC altogether. Once it is complete, you will be presented much more so of the standard day dashboard.